What's going on, guys? It's your guy, Dark Fable here, and today we have a very special guest appearance. Once again, we have the mighty...
Hello, I'm Silver Maxus.
So tell us, Silver, why are you here today?
Well, the new set just came out, and of course, it's my Gold Paladins. I gotta play this, you know? This is my deck. Gold Paladins are kind of my thing in the area that, or in my neck of the woods of being at my local. So, yeah, and Ezel got new support, and honestly, it feels pretty good. I like him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you mind showing us the deck real quick that you played in the tournament today?
Yep, so, starting off, we have our starter here, Crimson Lion Cup Griff. And, you know, he's your generic, when rode upon, draw a card, you know, all the clans have this. However, with him, it's very special. Similar to with the other deck I play, Nova Grappler.
Special how?
Well, if I show you my boss card real quick, because I have 4 Incandescent Lion Blonde Ezel.
That artwork looks really nice.
Oh, it is a really nice artwork. So, basically, with Ezel's skill, it requires that you need a Knight of Superior Skills Bowman and a Knight of Elegant Skills Gareth on the field. They can be anywhere on the field, but, you know, you Soul Blast this guy, and then you can ride him as stand. It's pretty simple as that.
Gets around Zombaku pretty quick.
Yeah, it pretty much gives Zombaku the bird, you know. And what's really cool is that you only really need these two to get the combo off, because his skill, spoiling ahead a little bit, is discard a card and he can search for this guy right from the deck and call it to the field. It is a really solid combo, but I rarely seem to pull it off at all, because geez Louise, is it hard getting this thing in the hand when this thing is in the hand. Yeah. However, once we get the new support in the next set, it's gonna be a lot easier to pull this off. So yeah.
Alrighty.
Anyways,
do you mind showing us the rest of the build?
Of course. So next up, we've got 3 of Battlefield Storm Sagramore. And this card is really good. When he's called, you basically Soul Blast 1, draw a card, and then call a card to the field. Really nice for cycling out cards in your hand and to call out extra fields. Oh, I almost forgot. That actually goes well with Ezel's skill, as when Ezel attacks, you can call a card from the hand, which allows for more multi-attacking, because, you know, it's an Axel deck, that's kind of what it does. Pretty simple as that. And then, last but not least, we have Mox/Dragon, which basically functions as a rearguard Ezel. When he attacks, I can counterblast 1 to call a card to the field, and he gains plus 5k. So, it's really good for extending your combos, and he's very useful. The only reason why he's not as good as, say, Sagramore is the fact that he does not have an Axel Circle. If he had an Axel Circle, he would be staying in the deck by far, but once the new support comes out with Ravenhair Ezel, I'm definitely going to cut 3 of these guys out, and, definitely cutting out 2 of Mox/, 1 of Sagramore, and running the 4 Ravenhairs, as well as cutting out a Grade 2. But, yeah, this is a very solid Grade 3 base, and I really enjoy what these cards bring to the table. So, next up for Grade 2s, of course, we have, 4 copies of Bowman, because he's kind of our main boss monster, or not our main boss monster, but our main combo play, because you kind of need him to activate it. And while it is a 2-card combo of ride him, call Gareth, and then superior ride to Ezel, you technically don't need to do that because of our other card that we have in here, which is 3 of Player of the Holy Bow, Vivian. And I got that little OR there because, look at that. That's a nice looking card. That is really nice.
Yep.
And Vivian's skill is basically on place, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, and it's basically kind of like Aglavale from old times. I miss you, Aglavale. However, unlike with Aglavale, with the additional Counterblast Soul Blast, She does gain +3 from when you call something. So that's really good, getting a 12k attacker. So she's definitely being kept in the deck. Next up, we've got 3 of Knight of Heroism Tornus.
What does he do?
Honestly, his skill is kind of bad, but we play him out of necessity. When he's on the field, on the rearguard circle, he gains 3k if you have only 1 card in Soul, and he gains an extra 5k if you have no cards in Soul. So he's a 17k beat stick, but, you know...
Not bad, but it could be better, honestly.
Exactly. Once Wonder Ezel comes out, he's definitely getting cut. But until then, he's staying how he is. And then, last but not least, we are playing 2 Lop-Ear Shooter.
Wow, a lot of grade 2s.
Yeah, it's 12 grade 2s. Honestly, I don't really like his skill, even though he is pretty good, because at the end of the battle, when a grade 2 or greater Vanguard attacks, you're probably not going to use this on grade 2, but whatever. You can call him to rearguard, and he gains +5k. So, you know, he's a 14k attacker, and that's pretty good, but it requires a counterblast, which, as you can see, a lot of cards, you know, this card, and freaking not Sagramore, Mock Slash, they require they require counterblast as well. So it's a little bit counterblast heavy, all things considered, and I don't really like it. I might end up cutting him in the future for Tornus and for Vivian. And then when Wonder Ezel comes out, I'm definitely going to be, well, one of these is already going for Ravenhair, and then I'll probably just cut these 4 for Wonder Ezel and run 3 Vivian.
Makes sense.
But he's alright, I guess. I don't really care for him. He's just kind of there. Anyways, next up, we got our grade 1s. And starting off, we have 4 Gareth. Gareth is really useful because when he's called by your card's ability, by Ezel or Bowman or Vivian, etc., he gains +10k.
So basically, any method is superior call.
Yeah, he is a really good card.
All for free too.
Well, it's for Counterblast 1, but you know that's pretty useful, and I feel that is a more of a useful use of Counterblast compared to Lop-Ear, so that's the main reason why I'd probably cut him down to either, well, cut Lop-Ear down to 1 or 0. This guy is staying at 4 no matter what. This guy is really good. Next up, we have Evil Slaying Swordsman Hagen at 4, or Hagen-Doss as I ended up calling him. And he's not bad. When your Vanguard ends up hitting anything, so it's a perfect riser scenario, he allows you to look at the top card of the deck, and this includes if he's on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, and you can call a card that is the same grade or lower, or wait, no, actually it says just less than, okay. Or wait, no, less than or equal to, my bad. And you can call him, but in exchange, he has to be retired. However, there is some very interesting shenanigans with this, because if he is placed on Vanguard Circle, he says retire a rearguard copy of itself. But since you don't have any rearguard copies of itself, since he's on the Vanguard, you can pretty much get away with it for free. He's good, but once again, I keep saying this, but once the Miyagi set comes out, he's definitely getting cut for 4 of Howl, because 1, it's another combo that gets you into Ezel, and 2, Howl gets you Soul, which this deck desperately needs, and especially with our final card that we have for the grade 1s, which is Listener of Truth, Dindrain. And Dindrain is a really good card and really useful. She has 2 choices for her effect. When she's played, you Soul Blast 1, and you can either draw a card, or you can countercharge 1. And if you countercharge 1, she gains an additional 3k. So that helps with a little bit of the counterblast cost, but I mainly use her skill to draw instead of countercharge because I find that with how things go, I have just enough counterblast to last. However, hand, like most Axel decks, is a very important resource and a very scarce resource, which is why Dindrain, that's the main reason why I mainly just go for the draw. But she is very important in the deck and very useful. However, she does also contribute to the soul deficit that we have that thankfully will be fixed with Howl. Anyways, last but not least, we're going into our triggers, in which I run 6 draw triggers, 4 of them being our perfect draws, because why would you not run perfect draws? Because perfect draws are good. And then we run 6 fronts.
Fronts?
Yeah. I honestly feel that fronts are really useful for the deck because getting your entire front row powered up against a lot of other decks really puts up the pressure, and I feel that it's useful for dealing with stuff like well, I guess just defensive triggers in general. It's very useful for dealing with, just to get that little oomph that you need for the deck. Especially since this deck dies to triggers. Defensive triggers kind of kill this deck. And of course we play our 4 heal triggers. 4 heal triggers, pretty self-explanatory. The only reason you'd play anything less is if you're playing the no heal variant of Nova Grapplers that runs 14 grade 3s. Shout out to our buddy John who has run the deck before, and geez Louise, it is insane. He's looking over at me right now, just shaking his head. He's like, anyway, so yeah, that's my deck. I really like Gold Paladins. I've been playing Gold Paladins since I first started playing Vanguard, and it really warms my heart to see these guys getting the revival that they deserve. And come February, when the Miyagi booster comes out, it's going to be even more powerful. With Ravenhair basically being a mini waterfall. I love that. It's so good. But yeah,
mini waterfall? That's a basically better waterfall.
Yeah, basically, because you can use it more than once.
Exactly.
Anyway, so
mini.
So yeah, this is it from me. This is your resident Radiant Rider, Silver Maxus, saying peace out, stay awesome, and stand up. Za, Vangaro!